Well, the forecast wind was northwesterly, which is that direction, and for reasons unknown the winds are coming from a southern direction at the moment. That wasn't forecast, so I'm in two minds. I don't know whether to call it or to pitch up and risk a damaged tent. It's only the odd gust, it's not all the time. My inner gut is telling me to have a bit of a reset, so I'm not sure. It's obviously a lovely place, absolutely spectacular, and I've got a bit of a rough place, guys, out, but I'm just thinking about guy lines. The snow is that deep, you know, I fell in so many drifts, some of them is over your knees, so I have got the ground anchors. However, they are no use whatsoever unless you can get some solid purchase, which may be just about a bit of an area for the solo with the guys at the, you know, the max extent. I don't know, I'm going to give it another 10 minutes to get to the decision point time. I've taken a day off work, 2 days off work for this, and sod's law, the weather, the drift falling into, turns for the worse as I've done that, so I think we might be alright. Famous last words, I know it's going to be. Worst case scenario, we've got a damaged tent. People know where I am, I've got the right gear, all that safety stuff goes without saying, and I'm not in a hideously remote location. 5 more minutes and decision. Wind, it's because I'm camped in a bowl. I know that, I have learned the hard way before, but yeah, you can get some grip on them. The snow's properly coming down now. Getting a few guys in before I start to clip on the fly. We're doing alright so far. Could be famous last words. That was a tough one. Oh god, that was a tough one. I'll explain everything when I get back to the car. One of the most sketchy experiences I've had. I should have called it earlier, but yeah, I don't even know if I'm in shot or if I am. It's really steamy. I'll leave all this in, because you're never too big to admit when you've made a mistake. When I thought I should go back down, I should have gone back down. I couldn't get the pegs in properly. There was no purchase in the pegs, so you know, they weren't really holding, certainly the corners of the tent. And basically, I don't know, I just had a feeling, so I didn't unpack everything. I have asthma, and when it's cold it makes it a lot worse. Anyway, I just, for whatever reason, didn't unpack everything, and I just had an uneasy feeling. Coming up to camp, I was falling into snow drifts up to my waist. The poles were going right through. It was massive accumulations up there. So it was very, very hard going. I was absolutely exhausted. And I just thought, yeah, I'll just get through the night. It reminded me of the camp at Scales Tarn. Basically the winds were flying all over the place. You can't forecast it in those coombs. It's like a washing machine of wind. And there was a couple of really big gusts, and even though I had deltas in, the corner guy lines came out and the tent began to, buff it around. I just thought, you know what, I'm not doing it. So I'd taken my gloves off, I'd lost my dexterity, and you begin to panic a bit because I was losing the light and I knew I wouldn't get down in time. The visibility was horrendous, so I tried to rush packing up, which was a nightmare, and I couldn't get the tent packed away quick enough, so it took a lot longer. And these are all learning points. It's what happens, if you don't have kind of the kit and stuff like that. So I've got everything with me. Worst case scenario, I'd have been all right. But yeah, I managed to get it all packed away, but by that time it was like dusk. Then you start panicking a bit because you can't make good ground, because like I say, the snow drifts were so deep. It was really hard going, and I was collapsing past my knees, falling over, having to drag myself up, and it's trying to stay level headed and then navigating off in the dark for the sort of the last quarter. But it's enough to make you think, it's very easy to be confident, but things can quickly change up there. If the ground was different and the snow wasn't so deep, and I'd have been able to get some purchase in the pegs, it probably would have been absolutely fine. But given the forecast was due to increase, I didn't want to be up there in the dark with a collapsed tent in biblical weather. So my decision was to bail. So I'm back at the car. Other than some cold hands and a bit of disappointment, everything's fine. There's no damage to equipment. It was just a pain having to decide to pack up everything, and I just started thinking about getting things out of my bag. So yeah, it's wasn't to be, but these things happen. If you're going to come out in these conditions, make sure you've got everything you need, that people know where you are. I've got numerous family members and friends who'll be able to track my location in real time. I've got spikes, crampons, compass, map, GPS, Garmin GPS, everything. 2 pairs of gloves, spare clothes, food, head torch, spare head torch batteries, emergency blankets, everything, so that if it does go wrong, you can extricate yourself, unless you break a leg or God forbid something worse. So yeah, I'm gonna start the long drive home in the snow and ice, gradually warming up in the car, and yeah, the solo will fight on for another day. So thank you for watching, hope you found it helpful, insightful. Just a reminder to me, I think when the conditions are like this, you haven't been out in the snow for so long, maybe give it a little bit more thought, or at least go somewhere a little bit less ambitious. And that's not the highest place by far, but it's just there's been so much snowfall and those winds where the forecast was incorrect. Right, I'll see you on the next one, and take care.